do our job, play the defense that's called, and try to do what we can to stop him from making plays.
Good morning and welcome to Texans Game Day. I'm Vanessa Richardson, joined as always by head coach David Culley. We will hear from Mark Vandermeer. We'll hear from John Harris as well as some of the players. But for right now, Coach, let's get right to it. A challenging week in Indianapolis. How do you assess your team's performance?
Well, you know, we didn't do the things that we needed to do to actually, we went up there thinking we was going to get off to a good start. Unfortunately, Vanessa, the first play of the game, we had a penalty, which has been an issue for us all year long. We've worked really hard on making sure that not to have those things happen to us, and but it wasn't what we wanted it to be. And basically, we know in order to get things right that we've got to be more consistent in what we're doing and get off to a fast start, and that's what we're planning to do going out to Arizona this week.
You speak a lot about consistency, and that couldn't be truer with the defense. The first half, the defense was pretty good in Indianapolis, holding the Colts to only a few points. The second half was a little bit of a different story. What are you and Lovie Smith cooking up so that you can do a little bit better in this game against Arizona?
Well, the thing we got to do is eliminate the big plays. That's been an Achilles heel for us in certain situations, especially in third and long. You know, we've got to do a better job of reading our keys and making sure we're staying deeper than the deepest with our safeties. And if we do those things, those big plays will be eliminated. And that's been an Achilles heel for us. And we're going to work on that and make sure that doesn't happen.
Brandon Cooks called this team undisciplined. How do you as a head coach develop that discipline in the middle of a season?
Our focus and concentration has to get much better. You know, when you're 1-5, obviously things aren't like you want them to be. The things that aren't doing right are correctable. We've just got to get our focus and our concentration right. We're doing that. We've got a great frame of mind. Our players have come in. We had a tough loss against Buffalo and came back against New England and played well. And obviously we had a tough loss this past week, and we expect to bounce back this week going to Arizona.
What do practices look like as you try to develop better focus and consistency?
Well, just making sure that they're really in tune and everybody's all in what we're doing. And they've been doing that. As we come out this week, the thing we got to be able to do is that everybody's got to be all in one. Everybody's got to be, it's not just when you come to the facility, you got to take it home, and you got to be able to do things there when you go and when you come back, and you be prepared and ready to go.
I thought that Nico Collins was a bright spot in this game. He showed a lot of physicality. What did you see from him that you liked? Well,
it was the thing about it I was a little concerned about was the first time he had gotten hit was the last time he played. So he came in and did a nice job for us, especially with that shoulder. You know, he's a big part of what we're doing moving forward, and having him back was a big boost for our passing game. And moving forward, hopefully we can get more big plays out of him.
Releases are just a part of this process. They're part of the NFL, but there was big news with the release of Whitney Mercilus. Can you walk us through that decision and how you plan to compensate for his absence?
Well, what ended up happening is that we've got a lot of depth at that position. And, you know, Whitney's been around a long time. He's been a big part of what the Houston Texans is all about. And, you know, at this point, with where we're going, we felt like for the best of our football team and for best for Whitney was to be able to move on and give him a chance to be able to hook up with someone at this point and us to move on and get better at what we're trying to do.
Fair enough. All right, you all are in Arizona this week. Obviously, the NFL's only unbeaten team at 6-0. How do you feel your team is prepared for this?
Well, we don't look at it as being 6-0. We look at them, Vanessa, we look at them as always as just the next opponent. Their record is irrelevant to us. And I hope when they look at us that our record is irrelevant to them, because in this league, it's, you know, any given Sunday, anything can happen. And when you play good football and you go out and do the things that we know we're capable of doing, you'll have a chance to win on any given Sunday against any given team.
There are always storylines going into every game. You know the storyline of this one is that it's the revenge game. J.J. Watt and DeAndre Hopkins, of course, now playing for the Cardinals. How does this impact the mindset of this current team, if at all?
Well, I don't believe it affects it at all. Most of this team is new. You know, half of our football team is new. There are guys on this football team that played with those two guys. Again, just like we mentioned with Whitney being a big part of the Texans, those two guys have been a big part of the Texans also. But it's not about those two guys. It's about us playing the Cardinals. It won't be about them at all. We'll go out there and play the game, and when it's all over and done, we'll shake hands and move on and keep going.
How do you talk to your guys and make sure that they're staying focused in that mindset? Stay off social media. Don't get caught up in the hype.
Well, just, again, worry about what we're doing. Concentrate on what we're doing, what we're all about. We said it all along from the word go is that what really matters is what's in this room, not what's outside of this room. And we're going to keep that, and we're going to move on with that, and we're going to keep going, and we'll be okay doing that.
Who would you say has stepped up in this locker room as a leader this season that maybe has been a pleasant surprise for you?
Well, I wouldn't say it's a surprise, but Brandon Cooks, you know, Mark Ingram, you know, Christian, those guys have all stepped up for us. And those are guys that we're expected to do that. Justin Britt, you know, guys that have been around the league for a while, guys that have been there and done that. And they've done a good job of holding this thing together and moving forward, and I'm glad they're with us.
Losing is obviously tough. When you're not getting wins, how do you measure progress and success as a coach?
Well, by being consistent. You know, you can lose, and I wouldn't say you can lose and win, but you can lose and get better. And basically when you do that, you take that and you move the things that were well, that you did well, and you know that if you eliminate those things that are keeping you from getting that result that you want, that eventually your time is going to come. And I feel like we're working in the right direction and getting that to happening for us.
This Cardinals offense has been lethal. How are you preparing your team, and how do you think they'll look in Arizona?
Well, they got a lot of firepower. Quarterback's playing at an MVP level right now. He's got a lot of weapons around him. But Vanessa, in this league, when you play them, we look at them all that way. You know, this just happens to be a football team that's undefeated. They're playing well right now. But we're just going to look at them as the Cardinals and take it from there.
What would you say your biggest key to a victory against this Arizona Cardinals team specifically would be?
Is taking care of the ball, making sure that we don't give up big plays, make them go the long way on offense and scoring, and then us being able to just be consistent and be able to take care of ourselves.
All right, head coach David Culley, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming.